What's up? Welcome, Rock Bottom Podcast with Ray DeVito. And today I got Joe, the producer, with me. We're going to do a wrap-up of everything the last few days. I'm still in Tulsa, and I hope the Wi-Fi is better in the condo. This is the legendary comedy condo of Tulsa, where supposedly the Wi-Fi is atrocious. And it's not the greatest, but I went to a studio the other day to record the podcast, and the Wi-Fi was atrocious. That's what really pisses me off about Thursday's podcast was the Wi-Fi. The other stuff I was fine with. I liked it. And before I bring Joe in, just want to say Silk City Hot Sauce. Check them out. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Put in Rocky, get 15% off on all the hot sauces. And Ghost Whisper is my favorite until mine comes out. And then AeriJane.com, AeriJane.com. for goat milk soaps and deodorants. Mention that I sent you there, and you get 15% off and free shipping on your first order. All right, I'm bringing in Joe. Joe, get in here, buddy. What's up, man?
How are you, sir?
What's up? How are you? You became a big deal on this podcast Thursday.
I sure did.
Now, have you been on other podcasts, or that's the first time you jumped in on a podcast?
No, just be here with you. Oh, you mean when I jumped in on you like that?
Yeah, no, it's the first time you jumped in on me, which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you.
I've done that.
You've been on the other. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was giving Donnie from the Godfathers of Podcasting a really hard time this week.
Oh, really? Why? What happened there? Let's get into that drama. I didn't.
No, let's not. I don't want to throw Donnie under.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
I mean, so he was just, all gleeful over the Trump indictment thing, and I threw some facts at him, and he's Canadian, so he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I do, and it just kind of embarrassed him a little, I think.
Well, real quick before we get into that, I don't know. I'm more
interested in the steel toe thing.
Yeah, but before we get into that, I'm more left than and yes, I am reading all the super chats. We just got a super chat.
Yeah, we'll read them all.
Okay. I will read them all. I know, like, Shuli gave me grief where I was like, and what I meant to say is we'll read them. I wanted to get into like stuff with steel toe and then read the super chats, but whatever. All that stuff worked out.
I think it went pretty well. Everyone was giving everyone a hard time, but I think you and Aaron both did a great job.
I thought Aaron did great. I was mad at myself for the Wi-Fi. So when you were coming in, two things. A lot of times I thought you were coming in because my Wi-Fi was garbage.
Yeah, I would have been either way though.
Okay, yeah. But like I was like I'd be talking sometimes and I would see my picture just like start spinning. So I knew that I was froze. So like I didn't know if you were coming in because of that or other. Now the one time where you definitely I didn't mind you coming in at all was when it was that text message to Levy, because I didn't know the details. The only question I got to ask was, hey, what was the threatening text message? And you knew more about it than I did. Like I wouldn't have known that stuff. I wasn't privy to that. I just knew he got an email threatening that there'd be blowback. Again, this is all in the past podcast. So you guys can all check that out. So, but I was glad you jumped into there. I didn't know the levels of it.
Yeah, I feel bad that he seemed to take it kind of personally. And I guess I was a little, I took it a little personally too. But
what did you take personal?
The threats to Bob, I thought it was just stupid. I thought,
Now, how did you know the details of the threats to Bob? Like, how come I didn't know? Not that I needed to know, but like, what was that something that was discussed on a show?
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, I forget if it was a BS. I mean, I know the show that Aaron came on to discuss everything with us was a BS show. The first time we talked about the text, I don't know if it was a BS show or a Rico or what, but yeah, they talked about it on the air.
And people telling me to do my research. I knew enough of what was going on. I was the same guy when I had Carl from WATP on. I was the same guy when I had Patrick Melton from Nobody Likes Onions on. I'm the same guy. I'm not a dick. I'm not coming in here. I'm not bringing people in onto my podcast to fucking sabotage and tell them that they're a piece of shit. I'm not doing that. If I don't like you, I'm probably not going to have you on my podcast. Like, I'm not the only guy that I don't like that's welcome to the podcast, which he probably will never do, is Chad Zumock. He's welcome. Speaking of which, I got a threatening text message from Chad this morning saying to keep his name out of my mouth, and then he's going to kill me the next time he sees me. And then, literally an hour ago, he's live streaming nothing but talking about me. That's it. Nothing but me. That's it. Just a whole hour about Ray DeVito. Ray DeVito. And by the way, I don't even hate Chad. I got worked up before the podcast, and you know this because I got Chad tried to sabotage me the day before when he was on MLC, and he told Levy and Brennan that I went on Patrick Melton's show, Nobody Likes Onions, and I was trashing MLC. I was trashing the Shuley Network. I was trashing Kevin Brennan. I was trashing Bob Levy. First of all, I was never on the show, and also that, so obviously that's not true. I wasn't trashing anyone. I wasn't even on the show. And then someone said, "Oh, Ray wasn't on the show." Just, no, he was in the chat the whole time. He was trashing everything. And that's what pissed me off. And the fact that Bob and Kevin gave a little bit of oxygen, I came in hot because I did not know they were BSing when they said they were going to live stream.
Of course they were. Well, first of all, you think they really believed Chad?
No one should believe Chad. If Chad says anything, assume it's a lie. Assume it's a lie. You're an idiot to believe him.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them believe anything he says.
I know that now, but I really think he was trying to do everything he can to sabotage it. And then he's like, "Hey, we're going to hate watch. We're going to hate watch." Well, it's one thing if you said we're going to stream or something, but no, I'm going to hate watch. Like, get out of here. And then they get mad at me that I talk shit about you. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, seriously. Go fucking write a joke and do a sit-up.
Before we get deeper into the Zumock thing, let's go over the interview with Aaron. Let's break it down a little bit. I think that's what most people are expecting. So obviously, you were frustrated about the Wi-Fi. There's nothing that could be done about that, but at least you were audible the whole time. We could hear you most of the time. You know, it wasn't cutting out that bad. So other than that technical issue, how did you feel?
A technical issue, like I said, I assumed it was horrible just for the fact that I had no Wi-Fi. I did not know that my audio, which by the way, I need the audio for that, which I'll post that on my podcast. But I didn't know, and like when I rewatched some of it, like just anytime I saw a little choppiness, I just got too disgusted. Where I was just like, I literally wanted to just like punch myself in the face. So, but yeah, everything else was fine. You did a great job. I'm glad you were there. People are like, were you annoyed he was jumping in? No, I wasn't. And again, one of the reasons why I thought you were jumping in is I assumed it was my Wi-Fi was out. So
I mean, part of it was that when your Wi-Fi cut out, there was a couple times where it cut out for a particularly long time. So I had no choice. I think one of the times I asked Aaron to start reading the chats until you unfroze and stuff. So yeah, there were a couple points where I had no choice. From that point of view, I had no choice. And then there were others when I had no choice from a follow-up point of view. And I think everybody gave you a hard time for not being Mike Wallace, but like, I don't think anyone expected you to. Shuley said it on Sunday on Miserable Men that was the whole reason I was going to be there. I mean, I produce your show every week, but like, we were ready for me to jump in and follow up on certain things. And then people getting pissed off about it. You know, I had my own list of questions that I wanted to ask him. And then there were other people in the organization texting me that they had questions. So, you know, I had to get to their questions as well. So I jumped in as much as I had to. And that was the whole point.
And I was fine with it. Now you tell me, you break down. What did you like? What did you not like about the podcast?
There was nothing not to like about it. Like if there wasn't the whole dust up with him and Zumock and everybody else, it would have been it would have been like your interview with Carl or any other podcast you've done. It would have been just fine. The only reason that it was under a microscope is because for whatever reason that guy attracts a lot of heat, and you know that's why we wanted it, right? Like it's not like when you came to me and were like, we're going to have him on, we kind of knew that was what was going to happen. There was going to be a lot of people in the chat to hate him and ask, you know, questions that he probably wasn't going to want to answer. And I mean, it's not like we didn't expect it.
And he did answer all the questions. People put up super chats asking questions. Oh, you didn't like the way he answered them?
He responded maybe to each question, but I don't think he answered them each time. He did the thing that, like, you ever watch the
Give
White
me an
House?
example. What's a question that
So
you
I'm going to give you an
think he
example.
didn't?
Do you ever watch those White House press briefings, like where the reporters are asking that lady questions? You ever watch those? Of course not.
No,
Why
I
am I
don't.
asking?
Of
But
course.
believe me, they
I
exist,
probably
right?
watch ESPN instead. I'm probably watching
It's
Cavaliers
okay.
highlights.
So the White House press briefing happens every day, and reporters ask that lady questions, and they'll be like, "Hey, what does the president think about the war in Iraq?" And she'll respond with, "He had peanut butter and jelly for lunch," and then they just move on to the next. They didn't. She responded to the question, but she did not answer the question, and that's what he was doing. And that's why
Okay,
I
give
had
me
to
an
jump.
example. Give me a question you did not like how he answered, if you
So
could think of one.
the
Or
the whole thing about the what's it called, the lottery thing, he was like, his
right.
initial answer was, if I'm a bad guy for trying to do something, and I had to jump in because I'm not saying you're a bad guy. No, I don't think anybody, well, maybe some people are saying he's a bad guy, but that's not the question in this particular issue, whether or not Aaron's a bad guy. It's whether or not the way he is running this giveaway is above board or not. So it's when he's like, well, everybody's, I guess I'm just a bad guy for trying to do something nice. Like, that's a 12-year-old mentality of how to debate and argue. Nobody was saying you're a bad guy. People are saying you're doing something illegal. The way you were doing, like, it's fine to do a giveaway as long as it complies with the law. You know what I mean? Like, if he was giving away AK-47s, would he be like, well, I'm just doing a giveaway for my fans, damn what the law says? Like, no, you wouldn't. So that
All
was
right,
the
listen,
criticism.
Joe. I said this. I watched the prize night. From what I saw when I watched the prize night, um, it's willing participants. It's not like he has a gun to people's head, being like, buy these stickers and get in this drawing. That's what I the way it looks to me is it's like, hey, we have this thing. If you want to participate, great. If you don't, and yes, people like get on like, why is always asking for a donate? Well, that's on him. I'm not getting into someone like, I appreciate your super chats. Bring them up, and as soon as we get off this topic about the lottery, we're going to read the super chats that came in.
Let me stop you there for a second, though, Ray. So again, the question's not about what he's doing. Like, he's doing a giveaway. Here's the point: when you do a giveaway like that legally, there has to be a way to enter without making a purchase. Do you understand? Like, when you go see, like, whatever kind of thing that you buy at the store, like at the grocery store, where it's like, enter for a chance to win whatever. If you look over at the fine print on the back of the box, it says, if you don't want to buy this and you just want to enter the contest, do this, that, and the other, and you can enter it without making a purchase. What they're doing is they're doing a contest where you have to make a purchase before you can be entered into the contest. That's the whole point. Not that he's a bad guy or that doing giveaways is a bad thing for your fans, that, it makes him somehow bad. Just the way that he's doing it is illegal, is what we're saying. Like, we have a lot of.
Do you think he initially started it knowing he was doing
Absolutely
something
not.
illegal?
No, that's the
Okay.
next thing I was just going to say is we have a lot of ideas in our meetings around here. We're like, well, yeah, we should do, yeah, let's do that. And we're like, all right. And you start working on something, and eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh, here's why we can't do that. Like, I just think he didn't go through that process of, figuring out what he can do and how. And now that there's people that are making a big deal out of it, he wants to pretend like the big deal they're making out of it is that he's trying to give stuff away to his fans for free. Like, no, do that by all means. But I think people are saying do it the right way.
Is he still doing it, or is he not still doing it?
I don't know. I've never watched his show, right? Like,
Okay.
listen to me.
Yeah.
Andy was asking me earlier, like, hey, he was talking about you yesterday. Did you watch his show? And the answer is no. Like, that's how boring he is, that even my favorite topic in the world, me, couldn't get me to watch his show. That's how boring I find him.
All right. So you came in like, all right, I don't.
And again,
If
I
he
know that
does a
makes it,
thing,
hold on. I know it makes it sound like I don't like the guy when I say things like that. And it's just like my Tourette's level honesty. I'm not trying. I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. I just don't find his show interesting.
all right. Now, be honest. All right, let's say you don't know him from anything. There's someone that's doing this lottery thing, and he's got people buying to be in the entry, buying like their entries, buying the stickers to be in it. It's someone else that you have no. Do you really give a shit if people are willingly participating in it and doing it? Do you really care?
No, so that's
Do you
in
get
the
what I'm
interest.
saying? Like the
Yeah.
guy next door is doing it. Do you really give a shit?
in the interest of fairness to Aaron, when he says for some reason these other shows have a hard on for him, it's true. Like, I don't know why anyone cares. Again, I couldn't think of a less interesting person to be focusing on than that guy. But
yeah,
everybody else finds him interesting, you know? So, I mean, whatever. We had him on and exploited that for some numbers, and we got some questions answered. And I wanted to give him a hard time over the Bob texts anyway.
And yeah, that's like if I'm working with a comic and they're selling T-shirts, and then at the end of the week they like don't claim it on their taxes. Do I give a shit? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I
like,
totally get that.
Let them do it. Those are fans buying stuff. You know, comedy club bookers screw us over all the time. Like, let them have. So that was my whole thing. And if he does, maybe do a thing like I suggested, where people can enter for free. I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules. I think he needs to take. I think he needs to take a look at it.
He needs an attorney, right? Like, that's what he needs. You know, that guy, Vince, the attorney that we have on, he does entertainment law. He needs a guy like that to tell him exactly how to do it the right way. That's all. It's going to cost him a couple $100, I'm sure, but that's all he needs. I swear. If he calls an entertainment lawyer, they will, in a few hours, for less than $1,000, I'm sure, have this figured out for him so he doesn't get himself in trouble.
Well, I hope for his sake he does figure that out, because there's enough people with eyeballs on him where someone's going to be alerted to something.
Right.
Like, now it's got, like, now he'd be foolish not to like really take a look at it and try to figure it out. But yeah, but like I said, if the guy next door is, do I really care? I can't fake interest in that. Did you get what I'm saying? I cannot fake interest in that.
Oh yeah, I
can't be like, I give a fuck.
I couldn't even watch the show where they're talking about me. That's how boring he is to me. So yeah, I totally get it.
Well, maybe that's a reflection on your personality, Joe.
It probably
maybe you need to step it up and be more charming.
I think
we got to be more charming, Joe.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, let's over
here. All right.
Before we get into the next thing, let's read the super chats where we're at. We appreciate
super chats?
Yeah, there's super chats. Carlos Danger, $5. I stand with Ray. He's worth my $5. Yes, Carlos Danger. Awesome. Fat Dip the Lactator. Yeah.
I fucking love you guys. It's fucking hilarious.
Snookerman, $5 European. Ray, bro, don't stay in comedy condos. You're better than that. Okay, maybe not, but still. I will say this. As much as like people like think comedy condos are the worst, I actually prefer them over hotels, because here's the deal. When you're in middle America going place to place, on the nights that I'm not working the comedy club, you don't have a hotel room. So a condo, it's a free place to stay. And this is actually a really nice condo. The Wi-Fi isn't as bad as everyone alluded it to be, because it's working better now than it did on Thursday. But yes, I actually like comedy condo. And I know people like to shit on them. I actually like them. Yes, my life is not the greatest. I know that, but it's turning up. I got Joe in my life. Zen's for Ray, you're pressing questions of where his name came from. Come on, Ray. That was a super chat question at the end of the fucking thing. And it turns out that was just the name of the show on the radio, and he kept it. That's it. I like how that's what you guys took away from it. Terry Need, $5. Ray, should Ray kill you? Should Ray kill you? Can I have your toys? Yes, if someone kills me, you can have my toys. Says producer, it's all a bit, Ray. Seriously, you're a comic and can't figure that out. Oh, Chad saying he's going to kill me some bit. He's going to change his mind every day. Snookerman became a YouTube member. All right, Snookerman. Thanks, buddy.
Wait, hold on.
$2, Chad.
Dang it, I wasn't ready. There it is. Oh, dang it. There it is.
What's that? Play the music again. What's that music?
It was for our new member.
For the new member music.
I love this guy.
RMG Canadian 220. Joe, honest opinion. Do you think Ray's pathetic? Joe, this one's for you.
I do not. No, Ray is my buddy. Ray and I are friends.
Who's your mom's favorite comedian on Compound, Joe?
On the Shuley network. That's the network we work for, not Compound. But it is you. Of all the people that I've worked with here and sent my material to my family, you're the only one that my mom has found amusing. I think, Levy was she's in her 70s, for God's sakes.
So that's my all right.
That's race target demographic.
I got the grandma appeal. All
Life
right.
without balconies kills in retirement communities.
Yeah. 78 Tapia, $2. Can only trash Chad and nobody else. Great friend. Chad trashes me. What are you talking about? I take shots at other people, but Chad trashes me. He tried to sabotage my show on Thursday. He tried to sabotage it with shout out to MLC and Kevin Brennan. He's always taking care of me. A lot of you wouldn't know who the hell I was if not for MLC and Kevin Brennan. And yeah, Kevin trashes me. I make fun of Levy. I make fun of Kevin and his Piazza phone. But Chad just does nothing but like lies to sabotage shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. It's just like he just lies to sabotage shit. And it's like and stuff that I know about him, I'm not gonna ever air out because people that are involved and the comics involved want no part of this world. So I would never do that. I wouldn't do that out of respect for those other people. And also, like, I don't want to be known for this just throwing mud at people. I don't want to be known. I want to be known for my comedy, which is I just had one of the dry bar clips that they just put up of me 3 days ago is already at 220,000 views. So
40 and Simple and Life Without Balconies, 2 specials this year. They're both amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, I got stuff.
I feel like that sounded sarcastic, but I was serious. Both of Ray's specials are awesome. Go check them out.
So yeah, so I'm trying not to be in this mud, this muck, but yeah, some of it's entertaining, a lot of it's jokes, but and you know, and someone's I think they suggest on MLC, yeah, we can do a 10-minute roast battle back and forth, Chad and I'd be fine with that, dude. I'd be fucking fine with that. We can go joke for joke. Whenever you want.
I don't think he would ever do that.
Whenever he wants to, we could do it. So, all right. 78. Aaron is a salesman and Dope Ray is buying it. Okay. Yeah, I don't hate the guy. Same way when I had Melton and Carl on. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, fucking bash my guess? I was just asking questions, the questions people wanted me to ask, and so I stand by with what I had to do. Sense producer, $1.99. Joe, give up. Ray will never grasp facts. What are the facts, Joe, that I'm not grasping?
I think
tell me, Joe.
She's probably referring to the whole lottery thing. How like it's really specific, like the criticism. But that's what I was trying to explain to him. I don't think it's a bad faith criticism. It's very specific that what you're doing is against the law. It's not like the shit about his kids starving or whatever. Like, as funny as some of those comments were, like, yeah, sure, that's not necessarily. I wouldn't probably do that, but I'll laugh at them.
Joe, if you want, send Patrick Melton the link. He's in here. I'm cool with sending him the link. Bring Patrick on.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Do you have his email, or do you need me to?
Oh, hold on. I think this bit's
if he wants to jump on, he can.
How long were we planning on doing this, Ray? I didn't have this like planned into my schedule for today.
We'll go an hour. How about that?
All right. So give me 1 second. Do I have? Do you want to text me Melton's email?
You know what? I'll. I have the link, so I will send it to him. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, read some super chats and say them out loud so I can answer questions if there's questions involved. I just Facebook messaged him.
Jules David, $5 is the head of Shuling Howard programming. What's the plan to get views and donations back to where they were 3 months ago? Both are way down over 90 days. That's not true.
Jules David. I don't know how I love Jules David, but I don't know if Jules David's mad at me after Thursday.
If she has some kind of like backdoor into our YouTube analytics, then she would know that is not the case. I said, did I not say to you off the air? But I'm not going to get into the details. But I say to you off the air that I will put any YouTube channel that wants to put their analytics on the air against ours. I would be happy to do it. I don't know.
You're talking nerd shit. You're talking nerd shit, Joe.
But anytime.
Carlos Danger, $5. through your stance on the lottery thing is shaking me, Ray. I don't give a fuck about. I can't pretend like I care about the lottery. I'm sorry, I can't. It's like getting mad at. I don't know. Like I can't. I can't give a shit about the lottery. I'm sorry. I'm just not wired that way. But you're right. He's probably going to have to change things up. If he's doing something illegal, which it sounds like enough you've done research that he is doing something illegal, he's going to have to change it. And I hope for his sake, he does change it. Otherwise, he's going to, seems like there's enough people on the trail, they're going to bust him. So,
Ray, I am going to have to get going. You can keep going with Andy run the show, or we can end it. It's up to you.
where are you going, Joe?
It's Saturday, dude. I've like life to live that I don't get to live because I'm working 17 hours a day Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay. All good. Yeah. If Andy, you want to jump on with me, buddy? Is Andy here?
Andy's there.
Hey, pal.
What's up? Are you cool to jump on?
Yeah, sure. You want me to hang out? Yeah.
Cool.
Andy's funnier than I am.
Oh, hardly.
I sent Melton the link, so Melton jumps on. But in the meantime, I'll read the super chats.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
All right, Joe.
All right. Peace, Joe.
Good job, buddy.
Hey, Joe, before you go, is he gone?
Oh, that's all right.
All right. I wanted closing thoughts from him. Carlos Danger, $5. Though your stance on the lottery thing is shaking me, Ray. I read that one. Like I said, I can't pretend like I care. Zen's producer, $4.99. It is way more about his attitude after he was called out. Zero humbleness. All right. What called out about the lottery again? I can't. If it's a lottery thing, I did tell him things that I did not care for. That the whole Shaka puppet thing. I think he doesn't need to do that. He even admitted that was like a little kind of like maybe something to get rid of. Like even Compound Media, who has Gino in his N-word phone, even they were like, yeah, that's a little much. a little. Even they were like, when they were doing. And think about Compound Media, man. Just a few years ago, like they were doing the comedians of Compound were touring,
Right.
and like right now, like what that would be, it'd be like Gino, Chrissy, I guess Bill Schultz, and then maybe Jim Stansel would be the lineup. Where like literally 6 years ago, that lineup would have been Kevin Brennan, Shane Gillis, Aaron Berg, and Pat Dixon.
Why do you say that?
Just think about the difference of like those lineups. Like one would be like $100 ticket to go see. The other one, like if you're just a random person that saw that as a comedy show, you'd be like, it just wasn't. So, I mean, Compound, the comedian level is definitely gone.
So you're not there to see Gino?
No, I
Slam radio.
No, I am not. I've done comedy shows with Gino. I don't hate Gino. Gino like talks shit about me. I don't. But I'm just talking about stand-up comedy wise. If you're just a person that came in off the streets and that was a comedy show you saw, it'd be different. I'm just saying Compound Media. You just heard the comics I named, and then that are there now, as opposed to the comedians that were there a couple years ago. It's totally.
What about you and Gino? What's your history? Were you guys friends back when, or I don't really know what the dynamic is between the two of you?
Oh no, we were always cool, and then we did during the pandemic those secret shows, and then that was the infamous show where he claims it was over because I went long, and that's why they cut him off after 2 minutes. And I said, no, that's not why. It's you just started yelling the N-word the first 3 minutes you were on stage. And the lady who, and in his defense, a lot of people there were Compound Media fans, and they were fine with it. But the lady that owned the place had no idea what Compound Media was, didn't know who Gino was. She owns this really nice place in Greenwich, Connecticut, and there's this white guy yelling the N-word while her neighbors are like licking over, and she just shut off the power. And I say that's why it got shut down. And Gino's like, no, screw Ray DeVito, he went long. So that's why Gino doesn't like me. Okay. That's the origin of the whole thing.
And how long ago was that?
Literally, like when the pandemic happened, 2020. But that's the origin of it. But outside of that, like I don't mind. And then the other thing I don't like that Gino did is I don't like some of the stuff he says. That's like not true. Like some really damaging things that he said about like Anthony Sennhauser, that he just like makes up these things. Which, first of all, if the thing he said about Anthony Sennhauser was true, it's not something Anthony Sennhauser would have told Gino. I'll tell. He says that Sennhauser doesn't take care of his kids and that his mom has to pay his child support. First of all, let's say that was hypothetically true. Let's say that was.
Okay.
Why would he tell Gino that? Do you get what I'm saying? Why would you tell someone who?
Yeah, it's not anything you're gonna be proud of.
Yeah, it's not something you would like.
You don't open the conversation with that.
Yeah, it's not true, but also like, why would you do that? I sent Milton the link. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, I haven't seen him come in yet, but
okay. If you want to come in, great. If not, no worries. Are there other super chats to read? I'll read the super chats.
Yeah, I got a couple here. Sorry, I'm going back and forth, so sorry if one of these is a repeat or not.
Ray, I like you. Don't fold. My wife and I watch you after Matlock. Thank you, Tyranny. Tyranny's funny, man.
He is funny.
It is way more about attitude after he was called out. Zero humbleness. We would. What did you want to? Did you want him to like come on and cry and be like, I've done so many things wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
RMG Canadian 550. Ray, you are a comic and you never mention girls and you never get any tail. So far, he's true. So far, it's true. Are you a piazza? No, keep it up.
Sorry.
Are you a piazza? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just wondering. I wish I was a piazza. Are you kidding me? I wish I was gay. That'd be so much better. It'd be so. Life would be so much easier. Can I learn how to be gay? Is that a thing? I would love to learn how to be gay. Unfortunately, I'm not gay.
Right. Now, Ray, most of the people probably know you out there, obviously, besides being a comic, but as being a nice guy. Is there anyone you have hatred towards, or are you just not that kind of guy? I'm not criticizing you either way. I'm just curious of how you work. Or is there someone out there that's really pissed you off? Or, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about Chad anymore or not, but if...
No, here's the thing. Like, I don't even hate Chad. I just really upset me that he was like lying and trying to sabotage me, like the people that are good to me. You know what I mean? Like, he's saying that I was shitting on the Shuley Network. I was shitting on Kevin Brennan. I was shitting on MLC. I was shitting on Bob Levy, saying that like, and then he's like, I'm gonna hate watches, raise the worst. And then the second I came in there fired up, and yes, I wanted to talk. Just focus on Steel Toe, but now I couldn't because that's in my head. That's like fresh in my head. And I sent off some text messages to Brennan, Levy, Chad, Shuley. I was like legitimately pissed. So yeah, he got under my skin. So guess what, Chad? That did work. You got under my fucking skin. You fucking got under my skin.
Now he's texting you, threatening you.
Yeah, but that's who Chad is. Any more super chat?
Eric, he can get in trouble for that.
I don't know. You think Chad's worried about the law? I'm not. Everyone else posts his criminal records. I never looked at his criminal records. I don't care. All the stuff he's been. I don't care. That's between him and whatever. And no, I don't hope he goes to jail. I don't hope he goes to jail. I don't wish anything bad upon the guy. I hope he gets help, but people have tried to get him help before. He acts like he wants to get help, and then like he ignores it.
Yeah.
Like he says he's going to get help, and he tries to get help. There's a lot of comics that tried to help him get help, and he's like, yeah, and he like went and got help, and just in one ear right out the other. It doesn't.
Has Chad ever done time? Has he done any jail time at all? Do you know?
I have no idea.
It seems like he probably should maybe do a little, even 30 days or something, smarten him up a bit.
I have no idea. I don't know. I think the whole thing about jail is they don't really want you in jail, right? For the most part, aren't prisons overcrowded? I don't know how the prison system works.
True,
I know Levy was in jail. He talks about it. He was in a turtle suit.
Oh yeah,
put him in a turtle suit. Yeah, you don't know that?
No. I think I heard something about that, but there's just so much to follow. Sometimes I miss some things that get through the cracks.
He lost his mind, I guess, once, and the cops put him in a turtle suit and put him in jail.
Oh, okay.
I still have no idea what a turtle suit is, but where's that image of Levy in a turtle suit?
Was that a stretch jack?
Yeah, I just think it's
straight jacket. Like, what is that? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know exactly what a turtle suit is, but yeah, Levy You will openly admit that he was. They put him in a turtle suit because he was threatening the cops and everything in the
Right,
jail.
right. Here's a thought.
Age of Quirrell. Chad is envious of Ray. Period. That's a fact. I don't know. There's nothing to be envious of. There's nothing to be. When he says like, yeah, Ray's not killing. Yeah, you're right. I'm not killing it. I'm not killing
Right.
it at all. I'm not fucking up here bragging. I'm not like I got this. I got that. No, there's nothing. All right, you tell me. What did you think of the interview, Andy? Tell me what you liked, didn't like. Besides my Wi-Fi's garbage, or that
Yeah,
we
you
got
guys covered that. You know, obviously it's too bad you didn't have a better place, or where you are now would have been perfect, but you know that now. No, the show itself, I mean, I was entertained as hell. To be honest with you, I don't follow Steel Toe that much, but I do know the dynamic generally between him and Bob, for example, some of that stuff. But I like the fact, and not against you, Ray, or anything like that, but I did like the fact that Joe was being kind of direct and wanting some of the questions asked, and not just him, like, you know, the guys and the network, more or less, that, you know, I think some questions deserve to be asked, and they, you know, we deserve to hear the answers to them. And I think Aaron might have danced around a bit, but I mean, you know, he did stick in there. You know, I agree with Joe and you. Like, he stuck in there, he stuck it out. He was acting like, you know, Shawn Michaels going into Montreal, right, against Bret Hart. So that kind of analogy. But no, I enjoyed it. I was really amused. I mean, I was back here like helping to produce and stuff, and it was really, my hands were just kind of off. Like, well, okay, what's, you know, it was kind of going in a I guess a strong direction. You know, Joe is a very how would I put Joe? There's two Joes, if I can put it that way. He's the nicest, kindest guy you would ever want to meet. The guy you've seen yesterday, I'm not saying he's a different guy, but that's not the Joe that we know normally. So when it's showtime, he takes it very seriously. He loves the network. He loves the guys. He takes his job seriously. And he's passionate about, you know, like you said, the people he loves. And, you know, I think he represented a lot of us in asking those questions.
What's a question you would have liked to have heard the answer to? What's a question that was not asked or was not answered the way you would have liked?
I think almost everything was covered. But a week or two ago, someone put in chat how hard it is to be a 10, you know, a 10 out of 10, good looking girl, whatever, and put that to April and Aaron. And April started talking about how hard it is to be a 10. And I kind of found that amusing. And I didn't know if anyone ever really talked about that at all outside of Steel Toe. It sounded a little pompous, you know, like she was talking about being a 10. I find her very attractive, to be honest with you. But it's just, I just kind of strange talk, you know, like listening to her, like, you know, it's hard to be a 10.
Oh, was she saying that? I'd have to hear it in context. Was she saying that sarcastic? I think she's a good looking lady too. But yeah, there is some, like, even if you, let's say you are, even if you are a 10,
serious. I could find the show, but she sounded pretty serious about it.
Well, even if you are a 10, you don't
like. Exactly. Right.
You know, like, hey, yeah. I'm a 10. But based on her personality, she doesn't seem to. And now if she's doing that as a joke, and someone's like, "Oh, you're out," it's like, yeah, it's very difficult being a 10. Now that if it's taken out of context,
from listening to it, like I listened to it, and it didn't sound like she was joking. And she's a pretty lighthearted person and stuff. And I was almost waiting for the joke, but it never came.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that and Aaron addresses too, which like, if there's anything like. Yeah, April put herself out there to be mocked or made fun of just for the fact that she's like on the show. Like, yeah,
that's right. That's right.
You're open game. So you can't get upset. Someone's making fun of you. Well, I get it as a husband. That's got to be like kind of like, all right, upsetting or like, all right. But at the same time, she did put herself in the spotlight. And Aaron did admit, like, yeah, she put herself out there. So you can't get too mad. You got to like, all right, 1 minute you're a husband, but at the same time, that is like on the air with you. So
yeah,
she's open.
It's kind of the agreeable wife, though. You know, like Aaron does most of the talking, and she kind of agrees and goes along, and she'll say something, and he'll just say the same thing back, and then vice versa. You know, but hey, she's no offense to her. I mean, I'm sure like I said, I haven't watched a lot of Steel Toe, so maybe she's had opinions I haven't heard that I would have agreed with or disagreed with, but I just don't know her that well as an opinionated person, or whether she's a really nice person or hateful. Like I don't know, but no offense, and not to sound misogynistic, but she's nice to watch.
Yeah, the fact that your big beef with her. By the way, people like, oh, you didn't do they do 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. That means I would have to watch nonstop. Like, all right, I'm not watching any I'm not watching that much stuff to go back to get into it.
I can't. I had to back off. I mostly do the. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I mostly do the graphic design and animation, for the network and that, and trying to find time in between all the shows and the meetings, and then you're watching all the outside podcasts to see kind of what they're saying, because we're all kind of interlocked in these different stories and drama, and it's there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, I have no problem with it, but I'll read some super chats because I saw a few come in.
Yeah, I'll try to grab a couple there.
Age of Quarrel. Chad is envious Ray, period. That's a fact. I think that's.
I always like they say it's a fact after.
Yeah. Voluntary 325. Who I know from MLC is, I think Chad is a gay homosexual in love with Ray.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. That's
right?
a fact.
You didn't add that there.
I like how it's a gay homosexual as opposed to other homosexuals that are not
Right.
gay. As opposed to those other homosexuals that have no gay tendencies. Snooker man, 5 of these European dollars. Ray, if you and Chad did a once weekly stream and you'd earn a fortune, but you're living in a comedy condo, FFs. Funded. Jesus Christ. All right, Smoker man. I don't mind doing a stream. Which, again, I don't hate Chad. I was mad as shit. Can you understand my position? Why I would have been mad at him?
Of course.
That day. I was literally furious. He tried to sabotage me. He tried to people that I'm cool with. That's literally, honestly, that's like calling someone's boss and trying to get them fired from their job. That's essentially what it was. He tried to do that.
We know someone like that.
The night before, and it's like, what are you doing? It's essentially what it was. It's him calling my work and trying to get me fired. That's essentially what he was doing. And that's why, so anything that I wanted to be focused and mad at anyone else, I couldn't. That was like sitting.
Right.
And then I admit that was unfair of me to get mad at Levy. But the fact that Levy I get it. He's just doing an act, believing it. But I literally thought he was believing it. And I was like, this is the fact that and then Levy and Brent are why the fuck would you think we're believing it? We don't believe anything that guy says.
Right.
So,
but I think Chad and Bob come from two different places, Chad, the hypocritical thing, Chad gets pissed off at you and threatens you because you're talking shit about him. But then meanwhile, he's on his podcast talking shit about you.
Yeah.
Saying you're talking shit about him, and
You can keep the super chats going because I know there's a few.
Yeah,
more.
we got another here.
Okay. Perry Caravello. Is this really Perry Caravello?
I will not verify or deny that.
Okay. Hi, Ray. It's me, Perry Caravello. I'm a slow Italian, too. All right, I'm going to say this isn't him. I hope we can be friends. Want to play Frisbee in Pottstown? I have some crayons we can eat.
Oh, that's definitely him, for sure.
Yeah.
No question.
I still haven't saw Windy
City.
Yeah, which I got to see. I heard nothing but great things about it.
You have to see
it. Terry Nee, $5. Ray, did you go to Tulsa to meet a Tulsa 10? I'm trying. I'm looking. I'm looking.
I bet Tulsa 10's pretty hot.
Now there's been a few
Oklahoma
girls
sure.
Here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's been some good-looking ladies here. We're caught up on the super chats, right?
We are. Yep. We're good.
Okay. But yeah. So what else do you think about the interview? Give me some more. Come on, man. Andy Joe bailed on me.
Right. I'm an artist.
It's supposed to be our recap.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what Shuley and Bob and the guys were thinking. Well, Joe, I won't say take over the show, but he put the show in a certain direction and kept it there. Whether he was asking questions directly to Aaron, or leaving the super chats up that weren't getting read. The one thing I did, maybe I'll mention you, Ray. I don't know if this is already discussed, but I was a little annoyed with you when you said, don't read any of the $2 super chats. You want the chats above $2 to be read, and I kind of didn't like that because all the super chats matter. You know what I mean? You got a lot of different people.
I'm gonna read all the super chats. I just said that in the moment because I wanted to get what do you call it? I just wanted to get into the interview a little bit. So
I understand.
And I was frustrated with the Wi-Fi. I was frustrated with the fucking chat shit sitting on my head. So I mean, I was like a little all over the place, but I was just saying for the fact that I didn't want to read super chats when I'm just trying to get this thing started. So I should have said, like, we'll read the super chats later. You know what I mean? Like, save them. Let's get into it a little bit. But again, my Wi-Fi was shitty.
And it was high, right? And obviously it was a high volume show. A lot of other shows were watching our shows. You had shows, watching our shows.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a whole dynamic.
Yeah. So like the private eyes watching you, private eyes watching you. Age of Quarrel, $2. Chad wants to control Ray's narrative all night long, all night.
He's yelling that.
The narrative, man. I don't follow the narrative. What's the narrative? I don't follow it. Whenever there's a narrative, I slap that narrative away. I'm like, get out of here, narrative. I don't follow you. The narrative's like, come over here. I'm over here now. Come follow me. I don't follow narratives, man. That's not what I do. I see a narrative.
People love the drama, though, right?
I see the narrative. I walk in the other direction. Like I didn't even want to go in that direction, but the narrative was in the direction I wanted to go.
Right.
And I'm not going to follow that. I'm going to go the other way.
Let's just say Joe wasn't producing yesterday. Let's just say I was back there, just quiet, doing my thing, maybe putting up some chats here and there. How did you see the show going, or how would you did you want the show to go different than how it went? Like, where was your head at?
No. Well, again, like I said, a bunch of times, a lot of the times when Joe came in, I just assumed it's because my Wi-Fi was atrocious. Like there were so many times.
That's true. He did do that. Yeah.
There were so many times I'd be talking and just see my I couldn't even see myself. It just be spinning, and I was like, oh geez. Like, so I was in my head then. So like every time I saw Joe, for the most part, the only time I know he came in, and stayed in there was it had nothing to do with the freezing, was when it got to the threatening text messages, which, like I said, I did not know the details of the text messages. I just knew that they were threatening. Just like me, I got a threatening text message today.
Yeah,
see?
no kidding.
Yeah.
I gotta kill you, Ray.
Oh. So yes, I know what it's like to get threatening text messages. It's not the first time I've got one from the Mud Shark.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Well,
everybody loves seeing those.
When you get a threatening text from High Pitch Eric, then you've made it. You've officially made it. You're almost there. You're so close.
What? Who did High Pitch Eric threaten?
A lot of people through the years. He was either asking to borrow money or he was threatening somebody's life. It was often, say, a girl he was seeing or interested in that he might have been fighting for her attention, like with Ass Napkin Ed or something. I mean, you followed the Stern years, yes?
Vaguely.
Okay.
I was into Stern the most when it was the TV show was on at night. I rarely listened to it on the radio, but like when I was a teenager and stuff, when it was on at night on the E channel.
Right.
Like I was more familiar with the TV show. And then when I was like driving around, starting doing comedy on the road, I had Sirius XM, and I would listen more to Opie and Anthony than I did Stern.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wouldn't not listen to Stern. Right. But yeah, it seemed like I think he's the one that started the Whack Pack then, because like he definitely had like a bunch of characters, and they would literally just like fight with each other.
Yeah, exactly. See, people love drama.
That's essentially what it is. And yeah, so what's gonna happen now with like Uncle Rico's show and stuff? Like, is it still, because I admit I don't watch it all the time, I'll admit that, but is it still going even though Stuttering John's like gone?
Oh yeah, there is so much material. Like there's so many shows and podcasts that John's done, and the blunder years are going back and watching, some of the classic old Stern shows with Stuttering John and Howard reaming him out for one reason or another. And there's reasons. And
is he that interesting?
is Stuttering John that interesting? He
Is
is
he
on
that
different
interesting?
levels. Yeah, I hate to say that because personally, he's not a great guy, and that's probably part of the reason why we're making fun of him. But yeah, he's definitely interesting enough. Definitely, I think the fans and the guys wouldn't have started this otherwise.
So essentially, Chad is like a Stuttering John Jr.
Well, yeah, in that type, but without the credits. John Melendez in entertainment possibly is the luckiest man alive. He's been able to get some great jobs with very low. I'm not sure which word you'd use, but he's, he cooked Howard Stern's potato, and he couldn't even do that right in the microwave. He answered phone calls, and then he'd be all proud, like, "Oh, I put that call through. That was me." John is he's the biggest hypocrite ever. He's the luckiest guy on the planet, but he's so narcissistic and he's so self-destructive because he just cuts ties with anyone that disagrees with him. He's just become this enigma, and and people are interested in seeing it, right? Like I said, the guys wouldn't be doing the show otherwise. We wouldn't have the viewership that we do, and all the memberships.
How is he? But by the way, you can, whenever a super chat comes, just put it on screen.
We'll do.
I think there's a few that no, there was a couple other ones that we didn't read that came in. The one before that, because I saw him pop up.
Do you want that one?
The screen. Yeah. Tyranny, $2. I'm sorry, I'm pro Chad now. I want those toys.
Oh, you like the toys part?
Yeah, no, there was a few that came in. So whenever one comes in, just put it up. Even if
we'll
whatever
we'll
we're
do.
talking about.
I'm so used to talking, so I get a little tunnel vision there.
Yeah.
I'll get in there for you.
Yeah. There's another one that came up. The one that's after that. Just whatever the latest one is. Just
you want that one?
Yeah. Zen's producers, stop trying to make a new Stuttering John hacks.
No, I think Chad's his own person, but he's got some Stuttering John tendencies. The hypocrite thing is probably like one of the biggest ones.
Put Zen's back up there, and whenever a super chat comes on, just take down the current one and put up whatever the new one is.
Sure,
so
you got it.
But I will say this: like the one thing I don't get about Stuttering John is he was atrocious at stand-up. My only interaction with him was him and Benji from Stern Show at New York Comedy Club, and they just cleared out the room. Like it wasn't even close to being like good.
Right.
Like, well, it's not that it was bad. It was like so off-putting that everyone left. Like, is that what he would do on purpose? Like those guys, was it all the whack packers that would do that, where they would just purposely try to just alienate everyone?
Like,
was that a thing?
What do you mean? Kind of like the drama of the podcast that's happening here, kind of thing?
No. Like they literally went on stage. I don't know which is the one that cleared out.
Sure, all different whack packers over the years on stage. During the Killers of Comedy, you'd have different whack packers on stage.
But they went on stage, and it was so off-putting that the entire place left. The entire place left. I don't know if it was Benji or Stuttering John, but
it was one of them.
The two of them. Yeah, just cleared out the entire room. Now, you can't be bad at comedy. Just be bad at comedy. It's not going to clear the room. They're like, all right, whatever. The next guy will come up. But whatever one of them had to be so off-putting. Was that like a thing that they did? Or was that just like coincidental?
Well, with Benji, he's like Andy Kaufman. So you never know what kind of reaction he wants from an audience, right? So good, bad, people running for the doors, Benji wouldn't mind.
Were they ever good at comedy? Have you ever seen either one of them do stand-up comedy?
I've seen clips of Stuttering John's comedy. Yeah, it's not.
And how is it? I've never seen it.
I
wasn't in the showroom. I
don't know if you call it comedy or not. I mean, I think. Well, let's put it this way: the clips I've seen, they're repeats of the same old jokes. Like they're the same jokes that he used, say, 20 years ago. He used to have the Stuttering John and Friends when he worked for Howard Stern, but he would get comedians around him who were funny, people like Bob Levy, Nick DiPaolo, Artie Lang, and meanwhile John's taking, he'd go on for maybe 7 minutes, play 5 minutes of, Stuttering John interviews. It's Howard Stern stuff, and then the other guys would go up, do the bulk of the work, and that as a comedian, and then they'd get, John would take most of the money. So Bob eventually turned that around. It's like, guys, we can obviously do this on our own.
Is that why?
That changed.
Now, how did Stuttering John and the rest of the everyone else? How did he alienate himself from Is that what put bad blood between him and Levy? Is there bad blood or?
I don't necessarily bad blood. I mean, Bob has changed over the years as well too. Like Bob, I knew 15 years ago would have decimated John, decimated him, and now he's more of a Bob's just Bob's still the same person. He's still funny and great as ever, obviously, but he's not. He doesn't care that much. He's not that invested if someone's going to be negative towards him or even the people he loves. But it's not saying Bob doesn't see John for the asshole he is. He definitely does see that. There's, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, like I said, whenever Super Chat comes on, just put it on screen.
Yeah, sorry, but I'm kind of doing a couple things going here.
Yeah, that's all. Snooker Man, $2 European. I've seen bad comedy from idiots and still enjoyed. Yeah, you can like bad comedy. Whatever was being said, was when I was on the show with those guys, literally was alienating where people didn't even want to be in the room. I don't know, they had to say something up. It's not that it was unfunny. One of them had to do something off-putting to make an entire room of people leave within 12 minutes.
That sounds like something Stuttering John could do easily.
It literally had to be.
He's not playing the big rooms and the people that are remaining, the 7 people they're ready to walk to.
Yeah. And yeah, that's when I first got to New York City, and it was still it was all right for me because there was still 10 people left, and I just got to New York City, and I was horrible when I got to New York City. I was a road comic. I only knew Crocodile Hunter impressions and dumb shit like that. I was a bad comic. But it worked out for me because you just had a crowd of 80 was down to 10 people, and they just wanted anyone that wasn't those guys. So, they liked me by default. Gonzo, $2. Sounds like Ray read How to Interview for Dummies. Yes, I did. I did.
The thing with Stuttering John is he considers himself a comedian, and most of us do not consider himself a comedian. And there's a couple reasons for that. The main reason I'm thinking of right now is when he's with comedians and breaking balls. For example, he was on Anthony Cumia, Anthony and Artie show podcast a few years back, and they were just busting balls. Artie, of course, is classic, and he knows how to make things funny. John does not know how to make things funny, and he does not know how to bust balls back. So he goes below the belt. He starts attacking as opposed to being funny or even just laughing, hey, Artie, that was funny. And excuse me. John just doesn't get it when it comes to comedy. He doesn't get how to hang around comedians. He thinks he's one, but he's not. My opinion.
Yeah, that sounds like some guy in Tampa who doesn't know how to bust balls. That's what I was saying about the Brennan roast. It's not that it bombed on stage. It's when other people are making jokes at his expense, and Chad would get up and interrupt those jokes. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Now you look. It's one thing just to bomb on the roast and sit down. It's another thing to stand up in front of everyone making a joke at your expense and try to stop it. It's like, dude, you're looking like an ass. Just sit the fuck down.
Right.
So you got the L. Just take the L and go home. You don't kind of
That's it.
You don't kind of try
now,
to beat up.
Ray, you see me. Sorry, you seem to be doing a lot of driving to doing some of these open mics, or are you just trying to kind of just keep getting material, or you just want to keep working no matter what? You see me driving 4 hours here or 5 hours there.
No,
could you not be more central and work where you live?
No, there's only so many comedy. You're a comic. You gotta go on the road. I was in Cleveland. I was going to Tulsa. to work this week, Wednesday through
Right.
Saturday. And then I picked up a show at a brewery in St. Louis on Monday night. So I was going to St. Louis and it was on the way. So got a little money on my way down, stopped in St. Louis. And
Right.
then the next night I had an off night. So I went and hung out with some comics and closed out the open mic. I didn't get paid for it or anything. It's just something to do. It's not like I was signing my name on a list and being like, okay, I'm number 17 and it was just something to do. I had nothing else to do that night. So I'll go do that. Hung out with Greg Warren and Sean O'Brien, and then drove down to Tulsa from there.
Nice.
Yeah,
How many years have you been doing comedy, Ray? I should know that, but
started doing road work, started like 2002. So like
Okay.
20 years. Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff. Sounds almost like the life, like, those wrestlers that are on the road trying to make it. They got to drive, 300 miles this way and 300 miles that way. And
yeah, it's part of the game. It's,
Yeah.
it's what it is. And also, I mean, I like being on stage. So I like writing new stuff. I like working out jokes and stuff like that. So I don't, on paper to someone it's like, oh yeah, that looks good. You do like drive to go. It's like, yeah, that's how it fucking works in comedy. You
Right.
can't just stay in one town. Yeah, you have to like keep doing comedy. So
Oh,
so
that's
yeah.
good. Your latest, what do you call it, comedy you have out? What is that again? Tell the people that may not have seen it or haven't heard of it yet.
A Life Without Balconies on iTunes and Amazon. But also if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RAYDEVI, there's a bunch of I'm trying to put up a clip a day. On the weekends, I'm not putting up clips, but on the weekdays, I'm putting up one clip a day. And there's a bunch of like comedy shorts up there. Instagram, Ray.DeVito, putting them up there. TikTok, it's at Ray DeVito.
My bad. There we go.
There we go. There's the thing. But yeah,
Trying to get rid of
we can. It's all right. We can wrap up here. I just wanted to do this. I wanted to go over it with Joe to get his thoughts on everything that happened Thursday. And then Milton, I sent him the link. He didn't jump in. That's all right.
Yeah.
It looks like he said that he couldn't jump on. He had to like do something. So he did message me back. He wasn't purposely not coming in.
Right. Right.
He said he had stuff to do. No, he was watching. Then he had to run out. Got another super chat. We'll read the super chat. Pick up the energy, Ray. You're putting me to sleep. Well, you can go to sleep because we're done. We're wrapping up. I just wanted to. I was going over stuff with Joe. You guys are all awesome, and I'll see you guys Thursday. And we got another super chat. We'll read the super.
One more.
Ray, tell Julie to hire me. I need a job. All right, Gonzo, use me as a reference. And go ahead.
Gonzo.
Yeah, and cool, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. Just wanted to do an impromptu one, and it was a lot of fun Thursday. People are saying nice things in here. People are unblock me. I didn't block anybody. I didn't block anyone. So anyone that's saying I block people, Citizen M, we love you, Ray. I love you like pancreatic. We love you the same way we love pancreatic cancer. All right. All right. You guys are awesome, man. All right. That's it.
All right.
Peace out, everyone.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I just wanted to do like a